Hello, I'm Diana Burns from Write, and welcome to the second of our videos where we give you secrets that are going to really lift your proposals and big ticket tenders out of sight. In the first video we talked about the importance of using emotion and gave you some good secrets about that. Here again is Richard Petrie from Speed Marketing, and Richard's a top marketing consultant. Richard, we're going to talk about what we can do to make people really make the most of the benefits that they're offering in their proposals. What are people doing at the moment that's not cutting it?
Right, well, I think because they know their topic so well, they end up talking a lot about the features that they can provide within their tender. And there's a good phrase which is, once they've listed the feature, it goes without saying what the benefit is.
Does it go without saying?
No, it doesn't. It never goes without saying, because you know your topic so well, you almost feel like you're teaching your client to suck eggs. Nothing goes without saying. If it's a benefit and it can be extrapolated into a benefit, then it needs to be said and it needs to be drawn to the top.
So we're basically saying that the secret is spell it out, and there are techniques for doing that, aren't there?
There are, yes, and you can call it bridges or connections.
Or trigger phrases.
Trigger phrases, that's great, yeah, exactly that. So we'll go into that in a minute, but I just want to draw up, we had the iceberg last time as an example here.
The iceberg of emotion.
Well, it's the iceberg of the brain, and we said that this part of the brain was the subconscious, and it was operated on emotion, and the conscious mind operated on logic, and that really this was a key part. And I think when we're talking features and benefits, which most people will have heard the term, but we're pretty bad at doing them. Features might exist up here. Features are logical, and it's your job. People often will give a feature and then maybe spell that out with a straight line, so there's a direct connection, and then they'll assume that the benefits down here, that the buyer or the person receiving the tender they'll get that. They'll know.
They'll know.
It's obvious.
So let's give an example here. So because people know, don't they, that they need to have some sort of point of difference, that they need to have some sort of benefit that they're offering to this client or prospective client, and so they might say, for example, we can do this, but they don't actually say how that is going to help.
And what impact that's going to have. I mean, this is the impact it's going to have on someone's life. When you get closer to that, that's when you're in the money. So I'll give you one simple example, and then maybe I'll put it back onto you to give another example. So the simple example I've got, I was running a seminar on persuasion for the Army, and at the end of the seminar, and a lot of it was around how to use emotions to influence people, one of the Army guys came up and said, "That is so true." He said, my son came up to me not long ago and said, "Dad, can I get a motorbike?" So in a way, the feature was me having a motorbike.
Now, how old was this boy?
The boy would have been 16, 17, and the father said, absolutely no way was I going to get him a motorbike.
Too young.
Too young. I can just see him crashing and hurting himself. The son was a master at persuasion, and he understood the difference between features and benefits. So he said, "Dad, if we get a motorbike, that means me and you will be able to go motorbiking in the weekend." Oh, no, in fact, I'll do it this side. That means me and you will be able to go out motorbiking in the weekend, and we'll be able to spend a lot more time together.
And I want to spend time with you.
Correct. It had a direct impact on this guy's life. He got his motorbike that week. He said, "How could I refuse?" He said, my heart melted, and how could I refuse?
And that's the key, isn't it? His heart suddenly got involved. His heart was triggered. But it's interesting because you said the trigger phrase that son used was, "That means, Dad." Exactly. So that's a trigger phrase.
It's one of them, definitely. And can you give me a business example?
Well, I've been thinking about this, and I can, because we did some work not too long ago with a big construction company, and they were tendering for a big job at a university, and it was going to be a multi-million-dollar project, and it was going to involve a lot of disruption at the university. Now, they'd spent a lot of time and effort on all of the logical things that they were going to do, but they had thought of a really unique benefit. They'd done some research, and they pitched an idea, a really great idea from, I think it was Holland, where basically what they'd done was students were going to have to walk essentially through a construction site. So it was going to be uncomfortable, a bit unpleasant, And what they'd done in Holland was they'd actually put video cameras there so that the students could play a bit and be filmed as they walked through this narrow bit between two construction areas.
Right.
And that things would be projected onto a wall, which made it almost into an art project. And it was going to be fun.
Right.
Now,
so that's the ultimate benefit, I guess, down here. Had they made the connection from the walkway?
Well, they hadn't, because basically this was a key benefit. And what it was signalling to the client was, we've thought about the fact that you're in a competitive environment, you need to keep your students happy,
Yes.
you want to minimise disruption, you want to make sure that the students are still feeling okay about their experience of being at this university.
Right.
So what they needed to be saying was, so the benefit to you of doing this project is that students will have fun, they'll be happier, you might even get some publicity for this because it's innovative.
Yep, paper or TV. So joining the dots.
These are the things that are going to benefit you.
Right.
But they needed to be able to use phrases that were really going to signal that was a benefit and pull it out as something important.
Right.
So what are some of those trigger phrases, Richard, in your experience?
I'll tell you what, I'll have a wee competition with you.
Okay.
I'll give you one, you give me one back, and we'll see
right.
how long we can get going until someone falls, okay? So these trigger phrases, here's the feature, and then the trigger phrase connects to something a bit lower down, and then another trigger phrase connects it to another deeper, more emotional benefit, and you can just keep going down. So one trigger phrase will be feature, that means to you, so there's the first one.
Okay, another one might be, so the advantage to you of doing X is...
Right. Another one will mean ultimately you are going to receive this thing.
Okay. This will help you by...
Yes, okay. What you'll find is this will happen.
When you're doing whatever it is, you're going to be...
Yes. Which will lead to...
Oh, I think you're winning this one, Richard. I think you've probably done enough. But there's plenty of these things, aren't there?
I think people get the point. Yeah.
So basically the idea is that these simple phrases that I'm calling trigger phrases, you're calling connectors, bridges,
yes.
that these are a way of lifting your proposal, because those things, those benefits and points of difference, are getting signalled, clearly signalled, and they're going to this emotional level.
It is, and it's lifting the presentation, lifting it by going deeper, and nothing goes without saying. You think, you're not teaching anyone to suck eggs, it doesn't go without saying.
So spell it out, join the dots.
Join the dots and make it obvious.
Thanks, Richard.
You're welcome.